And I just obviously wasn't expecting it. So I just fell to the ground and I was like wearing a dress.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I don't know what it is about dance, but women just love it.
It is attractive.
It is.
Just a cow, like right there at the window because they just broke free.
Off. The pill.
Yep.
Clappy clap. Are we good?
Yep, we're good to go.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of I messed up. Sorry. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Pill podcast. Oh, that was the wrong sound. I guess we'll go with that.
Wow.
Today,
good.
Wow.
we are struggling today. We have a special guest, Miss Bethany Mota, in the house.
Hello.
And of course, as always, we have David in the moderator seat. You're messing up today, bro. David in the moderator seat. He's about to he's about to get replaced, and we have Paco right next to us.
No, hey, no, put the claps for me. I get the claps.
You didn't do
you
anything
go.
today. All right, so we are, like I said, we are here with Beth, and thank you for being here. We didn't know you were so
course.
close. Yeah, what were we just talking about before we started rolling? We were talking about something.
We're talking about the room that D-Trix made for her.
Oh, right.
So just to preface that, how did you bring that up?
Well, let's have a little bit of an introduction. You know, for some of the audience that doesn't know who you are, maybe.
True.
So who are you?
Introduction. Here we go.
Who are you?
I am Bethany Mota. I am a YouTuber. I've been making videos for,
Since
10?
2009.
yeah, like 10 years now. Wow. And I do other things like music and designing and just a lot of different things. And mainly I just do social media stuff. So
You brought in over 10 million subscribers on your
Yeah.
channel, so that's very impressive.
views.
Almost 1 billion views, yeah.
Nearly a billion.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still working? You were working with not Abercrombie. God, we just said
Aeropostale.
Aeropostale. Are you
Yeah.
are you still working with them or no?
no,
Is that done?
ended in, I think, like 2015.
Oh, okay.
But it was like a few years and
Yeah.
really, really cool. I felt very out of place because I was suddenly thrown in with all of these like legit fashion designers to like help me put this collection together. And I
But it
was
did
like,
well though. Right?
It did really well. It
Yeah.
did better than I could have ever expected. But yeah, it was definitely like crazy that I was like 18 at the time.
Well, 2015. That's when I met you, I think, right? In Japan. We met in Japan.
Yeah.
It was around that time, I think. Maybe later.
No, I think it was way before that.
Oh, really?
I think it was like
It was a while ago.
12 or something.
Oh, wow.
And how
So
old
you
were
were.
you?
Yeah. How old were you at the time?
16.
Okay, that would make
Maybe?
sense.
Wow.
Yeah, we got you to eat squid ink. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Black
That was
squid
a
ink.
wonderful
That
time.
face makes you.
Well, we
Oh.
heard you're really picky.
I still remember
That's why.
that.
Yeah,
Terrified.
I know. It wasn't that
bad.
bad though. You didn't like it.
It was pretty bad.
How did the Aeropostale thing come about? I'm kind of interested in how that kind of came about. Did they just reach out to you randomly or?
Well, it started with just like a casual meeting. Like I didn't think anything was really going to come of it. And we basically just did a few meet and greets like in New York. And they were like, whoa, we want to work with you more. So I basically like picked a few items from their existing line and like put that out as like, these are my top picks. And then those kind of all sold out. And then they decided they want to do like a full on like partnership. So I launched the Bethany Mota clothing brand under them. And so it was in all of their stores and online. And it was really successful. It was just really fun also to like actually design and have something out there that everybody was like could actually have and wear. And yeah, it was a crazy experience.
And you were 16.
I think I
At the
might have
time?
been 17 or 18 when that happened.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
but that's
you-
still pretty young because
you're working with a bunch of adults.
Yeah. That's what's crazy too is like because I'm older now, I mean, I'm still young, but it's like I'm more aware of what was actually happening. I feel like because it all happened so quick and because I got into it so young, I didn't really know what was going on. Almost like, not to say I didn't appreciate it, but kind of like I just was so unaware of like how like one of a kind that was. Because
How big
it
of
was,
a deal that was.
Right.
That was a pretty big deal.
Right.
Especially at the time for YouTubers, that wasn't like, you were like one of the first to get a major that's a major brand. Like it's I think, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Not in, we don't have that in Hawaii though.
I think in Oahu.
But when I heard about it, I was like, oh, I've heard of that before. And then like, that's a major brand. And for YouTubers back then, we weren't getting those kind of deals. Now, maybe.
Yeah.
But back then it was a big deal. But are you still, so you're not working with them anymore, but you're still doing fashions related things, right?
Not like developing clothing. I mean, it's something that I definitely want to do more in the future, but I think it'd just be much different than it was back then because I was obviously a lot younger. So I think anything I put out now is just going to be like a little older. But I haven't been designing. I've just been like I still do fashion related content, but just not like designing clothes.
That's your main focus, still back to making more videos, because you did take like a break for a bit, right?
Yeah. I took I feel like I took a lot of little breaks, and then I took a pretty big break most recently. And I think it was just like, it started probably end of 2014 when I was kind of just like, I am so burnt out on this thing, because I was going hard for years and I honestly had no social life. Like I didn't have any friends. I was also homeschooled when I started making videos. So getting into it, when I first started, first couple years, it was like 3 videos a week.
Wow.
And no one on my team. So it was just me filming, editing, everything. And I didn't socialize
crazy.
at all.
My question is, if you were homeschooled, how did you like come across YouTube and knowing that you could make videos and stuff like that?
It was actually because I was homeschooled that I feel like I was more aware of it, because I was home all the time. And so I was like always online, and then I stumbled across it. I feel like actually if I was in public school at the time, I probably wouldn't have cared as much about it and definitely wouldn't have made videos. I think it was just because I was just bored. And so I started watching them and then decided to make them. Also being so shy growing up, I think if I was in public school, there's no way I would have even started a channel. But it was because I felt like I was kind of like hiding in a way. And then this was like me being able to talk to the world from like my own room.
That's
like,
true, actually.
yeah.
I feel like back in the day, especially like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like a lot of the older YouTubers, people who started a long time ago, were more like shy and introverted people who found the space to express themselves. And it's kind of changed to like the opposite.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. I think back then there was a lot of, it was mostly, I think, introverted people that felt like this was kind of their only outlet to actually express themselves in ways that they would never do in front of people.
Right. And then now it's, I mean, I don't want to say it, but it sounds like it was like the losers, the loser kids who were kind of on it and kind of made it big. And then now the cool kids are here, you know, like the Logan Pauls, the like tall, buff looking, good looking dudes. And like, you know, we weren't that back then. You know? So we found a space where we were like safe, but now the cool kids took over.
Do you feel like it kind of helped help develop your personality a little bit?
Absolutely. Like even comparing then to now, my first video, I was so awkward. I mean, I'm still awkward, but back then it was so bad. Like I was whispering in the video because I didn't want anyone to hear me talk like in my house. And then I also was wearing glasses back then because I was too afraid to wear contacts. So every video I'd have to like take my glasses off and just be like squinting just so I could look in the viewfinder and like see what was going on. So awkward and so scared.
But don't you think that's what made you lovable though? Like to the people who really like love you, they're like, oh my God, I relate. Because she's so awkward.
I think that's like why we watch people. Like we watch certain people that we kind of see ourselves in. So I feel like a lot of girls that were my age could relate to so much of what was going on with me back then, because I was just really trying to figure it out. I was kind of all over the place.
Well, just getting back to the, just because I brought it up earlier but didn't continue about the story that you were telling us about.
Oh, yeah.
The Dom.
Yeah.
So you're dating D-Trix. That's not a secret, right? It's very public. I lived with D-Trix for a long time.
I know.
He's actually the reason why I moved out to LA for like a few years. But yeah, so D-Trix is currently, what show is he on? So You Think You Can Dance.
So You Think You Can Dance.
So You Think You Can Dance. So he was going to be here, but he will be here another time, he said. Well, I don't know how that story came about.
Basically, the night that you had your Ninja Milk release party, Dom held a small little get together, like a barbecue at his house. And so like a lot of the RHPC guys went and we kind of like hanging out. He showed us around and then he was like, hey, you guys want to see this room I made for Beth? And we're
He made a room.
He made a room.
It's romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, what was the occasion?
we'll
for
let
that?
you take it away because you
Yeah.
know this best.
So basically, Dom made a room for me. It was for Christmas because we have this rule with like any gifts that we give, whether it's like birthday or Christmas, that we have to make them and it can't be like store bought. So I made him like this light up sign, and I like used power tools for the first time. I was really proud of myself. But he made me this room that was basically, he recreated my childhood room. And so he did all this research, apparently, like looking at what my room looked like, and like watched all of my old videos when I had like hot pink walls. So he painted this wall hot pink and then created this like Stitch mural, because Lilo and Stitch is like my favorite Disney movie. And then he had these pictures of me. I like walk in and the first thing I see are these letters at the top of the window that just say Lil Beth. And then there's like all of these pictures of me as a baby, but he photoshopped himself into them.
Wow.
So it's like us as the little babies together.
That's interesting.
That's a Dom thing.
That's creepy.
By the way, we both agreed that it is creepy. Like it is.
The thought is there though.
Totally. I was honestly in tears because I was like,
Yeah.
this is the most thoughtful thing anyone has ever done. Is it creepy? A little bit.
A little bit.
But yeah. So and then he like screenshotted like a picture or like a screenshot from my Draw My Life video and framed it, which was really cute. There were just like pictures of my family everywhere, and then my two childhood crushes, which were Dylan and Cole Sprouse, were like plastered on the
Is that
walls.
Zach and Cody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, they're funny now. I still I mean, I don't watch.
One
I
of
never
them is,
watched
like,
them, but their tweets
has
are
a
funny.
brewery
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
A brewery?
Yeah, one of them like works in a brewery. Has like
Disney? Or are they from Disney? Or?
Yeah, you don't know
Yeah.
Zach
Yeah.
and Cody?
I don't know.
Brenda's song. What's it? I don't remember
Ashley
the show.
Tisdale.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
Sweet
Ashley
Life of Zach and Cody.
Sweet Life with Zach and Cody.
Oh,
You
yes,
remember
I've heard of that. I've
Those
heard of
guys
that.
grew up and they're like old.
Sorry, I'm a little.
I was
They're
born
different
in
age-
95.
different generation.
Yeah, 9 years ago. So
Yeah.
9 years ago.
We both looked and she's like,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like,
Yeah,
very
so
thoughtful.
It is thoughtful.
It was super
Yeah.
thoughtful, and it's a really really cute room. He got like this old TV with like why can't I speak VHS tapes. So it was really really sweet. I was crying.
How long have you guys been dating?
Basically 2 years. We met 3 years ago, and then we dated for like almost a year, and then broke up for like 6 months, and then got back together. Now it's been like a little over a year since we got back together.
Yeah, you guys are super in love.
Yeah.
what a thing to say.
I
You
know.
guys are
it-
super.
We
it's- You know
are.
what?
Yeah.
It's
The
almost. It's
stoic
almost.
voice.
It's almost a lot. I mean, I grew up from a family that's not really touchy feely, but
Oh.
but when I see you guys
Are
together,
we too?
yeah, I mean,
PDA?
no.
What are you trying to say right now?
Oh my
You
gosh.
guys PDA
Don't be
too much?
offended.
He's like, slow down on all the posting of each other.
Dom is a very loving person.
He is. He's
know?
such a passionate lover. I
Yeah,
feel
he really is.
that was a weird thing to say, but I could tell.
You know all of
Experience.
How do you know all of that?
Well, you guys have met before because, I mean, like we were just talking about this earlier, but you actually sing. And I didn't know that at first, but you guys came here. I don't know if you guys worked together or not, but I know Dom came here as well to work with David.
Oh yeah.
We did one song.
You guys made a
together.
song.
Yeah, we recorded a
Yeah,
song.
Dom. I think you guys both wrote it, or Dom wrote it.
Dom wrote that one.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
a very sweet song. And I mean, I've always told Beth this, but I think she's one of the most underrated singers on YouTube. I think she
Thank you.
could have done music if she didn't do beauty.
But you're doing that right now, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just one of those things that I've dabbled in so much and I really want to do, but it's like I'll do it. I put out a song like 5 years ago or something, and then I was like, I don't know. I'm just so unsure. And also I just want to like I know it's one of those things where it's like almost waiting for the right time, but I also kind of just wanted to perfect it more before I start putting it out, because I just always want to give people something that I feel is of substance and that I'm proud of. And if I feel like it's not really there for me, then I don't really want to share it.
That's kind of like you. You sort of like that too. Like
I was more like that, and then now it's just I make podcasts, so just put
He's
just
giving
putting
up.
stuff out there.
Put it out there.
No, I mean we still have projects like that, but I wanted to be able to just do things that are like, I don't know, free and not having like so much thought into every single thing. But I still want to do those things as well, and I feel like you're the same way. But like, what is your main focus right now? Because you do so many things. Like you're doing your videos, like you said, you were doing the clothing, the fashion thing, and then you sing. Weren't you trying to dance too for a little bit? Obviously, you're learning dance if you're living with, well, you're not living with Dom, but since you guys are dating, because all he does is dance at every moment. If we'll be in the car and he'll just start like.
Yeah, he does do
doing
a lot of
this.
that. I started doing a lot of freestyle dancing
Yeah.
too. It's really bad. No, I haven't really been dancing. You would think like we don't really dance together. He's actually taught me a few things, and he's like choreographed little things for us that we never like finished. But dancing is something that I kind of really only went for with Dancing with the Stars. Like that was the most I've ever really pursued that. I kind of wanted to pursue it a little more after the fact, but yeah, I don't know. I think it was fun, but it's definitely not something that I see myself doing, like it being a main
I thought you
thing.
I thought you were a dancer. From that, I mean, you're pretty good.
I mean, I took dance classes growing up, and then once I got the offer for Dancing with the Stars, I was like, I really want to do it, because dance is always something that I really enjoyed, but just never really went for. And yeah, I think I definitely surprised myself. Maybe it was also just like having such a good teacher, but I definitely found myself doing things that I didn't know I could do. Especially because it's so many different styles. It's like every week it's like you'll have salsa, then you'll have like jive, then you'll have like contemporary. And so I just became more aware of my body, which was really cool. But yeah, I think I kind of fell in love with dance a little bit during that show. It's just something that is kind of cool to have. Like I think I could incorporate it into certain things in the future, but definitely wouldn't be like my main thing.
How long ago was that when you were on that show?
That was 2014, I think.
Would you say that your excitement about dance got you more interested in Dom? That was about the time, right?
Yeah, I thought about that. I don't think so.
Conspiracy.
Maybe it was like a subconscious, like, wow, I'm really loving dance, and here's a dancer.
Look how good this guy is at dancing.
That's
really
actually-
attractive.
That's actually what made us like
Hang.
come together. Yeah, because it was at like a YouTube creator summit, like one of the after parties, and I was just really into like anytime I would be at an after party or anything, I'd always be salsa dancing. I don't really know how to do it, but I enjoy it. And so I just remember there was like this crowd of people, and I was like, who here is gonna salsa dance with me tonight? And I kind of knew.
You said that?
No, I just thought it. I thought that every time I would like go to a party.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
who here looks like they would salsa dance with me?
You're right.
And so I knew he was a dancer, obviously, and so we just started salsa dancing, and then we just like danced the whole
Was it
night.
instant, the attraction?
That was actually the first time that I was like, oh, he's cute, because I met him before that at the Tony Robbins conference, and he was like cool. I was like, oh, cool.
Cool, but
I wasn't really into
you didn't
it.
see the skills.
I didn't see the skills.
skills
Once
is
I
what-
saw those moves, I was like,
See,
sign
that's
me up.
the advantage of being a dancer, because I don't know what it is about dance, but women just love it.
It is attractive.
It is, and yeah.
It's attractive when someone knows how to move their body.
Well, Paco can dance. How's that working?
Not anymore.
Can you dance?
I used to.
He's
I
a
used
break
to be
dancer.
B-boy.
Oh, really?
That's what Dom
Yeah.
did, but he got more into like what is it, a choreo, I guess.
Dom's well versed in dance.
David and
I
I
was
can't
very
dance at all.
I'm the worst dancer. I'm too stiff. Like I look like a freaking like a
Oh, I'm sure you're
block
not
of
that
wood
bad.
trying
Well,
to
you know how
dance.
you say like.
Block of wood.
I don't know why that I said that.
So going back to what David was saying, like you're actually a good singer, and David doesn't just give out compliments. He's very blunt. Actually, he's borderline mean to people that don't know how David is.
I know David is very
I
bad.
like talented people.
Yeah, but like
If
you
you're
don't
not talented, I don't
yeah.
like you.
like David will be straight up, and he won't say you're good unless you really are. But he does tell. I've asked David before. I was like, "Can everyone sing?" And what was your answer to that? All honesty.
You want me to be honest right now?
Be completely honest. Can anyone sing or learn to sing?
Yes.
Yes, they can learn to sing, but
But I do believe some people are born with natural talent.
and some people will never have.
Some people will never have
sound
that-
good, even if they learn.
They won't have that edge.
I think we're that,
Really?
but with dance. David and I are that, but with dance. That's what I'm saying. Like, you look like a dancer when you dance. Even he looks like a dancer when he dances. But when David and I dance, we're those people who just can't.
Wait,
learn.
I think I can. If I
We
work on
did
it,
BGA.
Your dance
I believe
rehearsals.
in you, David. I think you could.
No, what I'm saying is you can learn, but you'll never be.
Yeah.
You'll never look good.
I'll never be a D-Trix.
Yeah,
Never.
that's for sure.
Never.
That's for sure.
And neither will I.
Wait, so
sad.
you're saying like
That's sad.
some people that are really great singers that it's natural, someone who worked really hard could never attain that sort of.
Not to that level.
Sound?
Right?
Man, I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people. With
No,
my
but
answer,
to a certain level, it's true, right?
I think that
Does it come down to just their natural speaking voice that sounds better?
I don't think it's about the speaking voice. For me, I think it's more about so the way that I would explain is, you find young kids who are amazing singers, right? You guys agree with that? Like
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see like
Sure.
someone
Yeah.
on those TV shows, they're naturally gifted. They did not learn how to do that because they were taught. They were just born that way. And I think there are a lot of people like that in many different fields, like including dance, singing, or intelligence, right? I think like there are people who are born with it, but then I do think that you could work on anything. You can get good to a certain point, but I don't know if you could achieve greatness, if that makes sense.
I think it's true. It's just like being good at basketball, right? Like I could be I could work my ass off and I'll still be 5'8" and never in the NBA. And even there are 5'8" players, shorter people who can dunk. I think no matter how much I were to work on that.
I could dunk. Huh? I can dunk.
There's a basketball game that Ryan and I were playing, and it was right after the game. We were kind of sitting down, just like relaxing, and then this one Asian kid just like palmed the ball, ran up, and dunked. And he was like a little bit shorter, and the first thing me and Ryan did was we stood up, and we're like, he's shorter than us.
But like
This is
that's
possible.
what I mean. So I mean, why did I bring that up? Oh, I was talking about
Talent, musical talent.
Yeah, and then for dance, like you could dance because that's kind of natural for you. I was saying like no matter how much David and I train, we could get good to the point our cap, I think.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. But like you have like this high cap for like dance and singing. And I don't know a
about
bunch
the
of things that
dance
you could
part.
choose what you want to do.
I think you guys are really hyping up the dance part.
Well, I mean, you could. I would never do that show. Let's put it that way. Dancing with the Stars.
You'd never do it?
Never. There's got to be some great incentive for me to embarrass myself that way.
But also, I think taking this in another route is like you are a very kind of introverted kid. It sounds like, but you have all these natural talents within you that. Did you kind of always just know was there, or was it just like, oh, this seems interesting, and you pick it up very easily?
Like with the singing, I feel like I was always singing when I was younger. And I just remember like getting mad when people in the car would sing with me and they were like off key. And like 8-year-old me
Yeah,
was just
me
so
too.
mad about that.
That means you have really good
That's what we're saying.
sense of pitch. And like, I mean, this is a question I like to ask a lot of musicians and singers is who in your family is musically gifted? So usually when I ask my musician friends, it's either their mom, dad, both, grandpa, grandma. It's always like that. So I was wondering if that applies to you as well. Maybe an uncle or an aunt who's like gifted in
Actually,
music.
a lot. My mom is, and my grandpa, and then a lot of my cousins.
On
Because
your
like
mom's side?
on
or-
my mom's side.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's true. My theory is still correct.
See,
Yeah.
so it is something you're kind of born with, and it is. To a certain degree, it's got to be genetic, right? Like it's in your genes, because, I mean, it's gonna sound bad, but like there's certain ethnicities that like a majority of that ethnicity can sing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the majority,
like Filipinos.
a lot of Filipinos can
Yep.
sing. A lot of like black people.
Yep.
Most of them I know can at least sound better than your average person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I might be making stuff up, but
I-
the black people I know
Yep.
are all at least somewhat decent. Like have nice Either it's a nice deep voice or like they can actually sing or something.
As a musician, I will verify that.
Okay, so
I
I'm
can
not being
verify that
racist.
statement.
Yeah.
No, I
I'm
find
just telling the truth.
Yeah, I find that
Yeah.
African Americans, Filipinos, generally
Is
speaking,
it the darker you are?
I don't know
the
what it
better
is. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe their vocal cords, their the
Filipino
structure.
people are darker too.
Yeah, we're pretty dark.
I don't know. Now we're just basing it on color.
Maybe I don't
Sorry,
know.
I went racist on it.
But it's a great.
It's true. It's a
great.
positive thing.
It's a positive
Yeah.
stereotype.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even I've heard some like even, African Americans who are not great. So they say like I'm so bad and they sing and I'm like
They're so good.
you're such a liar. Like you're just all really good at singing. I'm jealous.
Or they
So
have a
interesting.
high cap for that, right? They could learn to sing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it sucks being Filipino and not being able to sing.
Well, you're only parts.
You know what? I've never heard you sing.
Because I can't.
That's what they all say.
Have you tried?
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Let's hear something.
And no. Move on. Next question.
That was a nice tone you had.
That was really good.
See, the fact that you
Really good mixed voice
she can
there.
hear it too, though. So
next question.
all
You
right.
said next question.
Okay, well, now we know. So you're going to be a singer-dancer. You're basically made to be a pop star. You got the fashion, a little bit of everything. What is, not joking around, what is your next thing you want to do?
I mean, honestly, the music is one thing that I've just recently started taking more seriously. And I think it's because I've been so scared with it for so long that I just kind of have been diving deeper into it recently. And so definitely music stuff, and then just kind of getting back into YouTube again. I think that I needed to take a break to kind of just reset, and I think I felt this pressure of also who people kind of perceived me to be for so long, especially getting into it so young. That was kind of one of the biggest challenges I faced, was as I got older, was kind of breaking from these ideas of how people saw me, which
Right.
it definitely, I was never fake. Like that was 100% me at the time. But then as I started getting older, and then I did start having more of a social life and did start like kind of exploring myself more, it didn't necessarily add up with what people were used to seeing. So I just kind of needed time to take a break from all of that. And it's kind of like what you said, is like I want that kind of freedom back of not feeling so much pressure of everything that I post has to be like the most perfect thing in the world.
Right.
And just the fact that I could actually just post is enough. And as long as I actually enjoyed it, that's more than enough. Because I definitely got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it, and it was just a big stress ball.
I can relate to that 100%. Like, I definitely have seen your vlogs. This is like a while back, but just like knowing you outside of YouTube, because I met you before I seen your videos, and then I went to go check out your videos, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. You're a lot more, like myself. I'm a lot more like energetic than you would be like talking here.
Right.
And it is tiring, and especially if you're getting older. Since you started at what age was that?
13.
Yeah, 13. You're basically one of those. You're like one of those Disney kids, right? Who
Yeah.
was trapped in the same like, hey guys, like one of those things. And then, not that you were like that. I'm just saying the Disney kids.
Yeah, no.
But when you're trapped into this thing, it's exhausting because you grow up. Everybody grows up, and to a certain degree, you need to have that switch, and people aren't gonna like it, but it has to happen. Like at Miley Cyrus, and it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are at the shishi break part of our show, so I guess we'll be right back. And we're back. And before we get back, actually, I forgot in the beginning of the episode, but thank you and shout out to Rode for these mics because they gave it to us for free.
And the Rodecaster
and
Pro.
the Rodecaster. So again, thank you to Rode for all your needs for things that are audio. I actually don't know. Is it just audio?
Rode does a lot of audio
Yeah.
stuff.
For your audio needs.
It's like a staple.
This is not their
name.
slogan. I don't know why I'm reading it like an ad. For your audio needs, Rode. Take the high road. They could use that. They don't need to use that. All right, and now we're really back. Okay. Do we want to start with we don't always get a lot of questions from people, but when we put out your name and saying you're going to be on the podcast, we got a lot of questions. So we want to go
cool.
through some of those.
Yeah, we have.
I think people haven't heard. A lot of people don't even know that you started up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're kind of curious about what you're doing.
Cool.
Yeah, we got one here. What have you been doing since not posting videos?
We kind of talked about that.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that. But I mean,
It's
that's what they're
not
interested in,
posting
though.
We can, where we can take that to is a lot of YouTubers or even content creators have been taking breaks lately. They've been saying like, I need to, I've been getting burnt out, or I need to take care of my mental health and stuff. And maybe this is something that you vibe with, and that's something that you felt at the time, or maybe you feel a little differently. So maybe we can get an idea and like pick your brain about that. So kind of why, you took a break, and what have you been doing?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the YouTuber break thing has definitely become like a thing for a lot of people, especially in the past like 2 years. It's almost like when I first saw that other people were doing it, it was kind of comforting, because I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that's like experiencing this and having these same feelings. Because when it happened to me, I feel like no one had ever talked about that at that point, or at least I had never heard anyone talk about
Right.
that. And so I felt like, is something going on with me that like I'm suddenly feeling all of this stuff like mentally with my craft. And yeah, because when it first happened to me, it was, I think I didn't realize that maybe I needed to take a break, but it's been incredibly helpful for me, I think, just to kind of distance myself a little bit and work on myself, because for me at least, I feel like I was so in it that I completely a little bit like kind of lost a part of me, and I wasn't keeping up with myself, so I wasn't like my full self for my audience, and I feel like they definitely saw that. And yeah, so I think when I first noticed it was like 2014, 2015, when I was just like, I need to like step away. And even doing that was so hard because people want things like all the time, and it was really hard to kind of step away from that. And I feel like a lot of people were confused because I never really like told people why I took a break. But it was kind of just what I needed to do for my own mental health, and just kind of checking in with myself, and just kind of like reconnecting with the world a little bit and appreciating things outside of social media. That helped so much, because I used to find myself almost like getting anxious if I was somewhere really cool and experiencing something, feeling this need to have to post about it. And if I didn't, I felt like, dang it, I didn't do that, and I'd be upset about it. I'm like, who am I getting upset that I didn't show this to everybody?
Yep.
And I could have had an amazing time, but I didn't, because I was so worried about posting it. And I think everyone can relate to that. Even, people like girls who are worried about impressing a guy. It's like, oh, I didn't post this thing that I went to this party, so I'm so mad about that, instead of just literally enjoying it and not worrying about having to post it, because it just kind of takes you out of the moment. So that was one of the most valuable things I've learned, is to actually just kind of enjoy life. And now it's easier to kind of get back into it, because I feel much more myself than I was.
What are some other ways that because you said you were working on yourself outside of, creating YouTube videos, like what were some other things that you did for yourself besides not posting on social media? Like some activities, or like what does that mean to you, like that you're working on yourself? Because some people
taking a break, even, like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because some people may go out to a meditation retreat, or
That's
some people
huge
may,
right now.
Yeah, it's huge right now. Like some people may just focus on a relationship, or some people may go traveling. Like what, or maybe do nothing, right? Like what are some things that you did to kind of get to that place where you feel free?
I definitely didn't go on any retreats. Yeah, I feel like I didn't do any of that, like meditation, which meditation is great, and I've tried it and it's cool. I just didn't really do any of that stuff. I feel like I just more so dove into myself and asked myself questions about like kind of where I was at with myself and how I felt about myself. And then I started to realize that also, because I started making videos so young, I think I know at one point I felt this pressure of like my appearance and my body at one point, because like everything that I do is so like, it's always been so like fashion and that kind of focused. So obviously like my appearance was a part of that. And I think that I let that stuff kind of tarnish my view of my like self, if that makes sense. So I kind of did a lot of like almost just like kind of doing like, I don't know how to explain it, more so just like thinking about it and understanding myself and what made me kind of get farther away from myself and kind of how to love myself again and love myself more than I ever had before, which then I think it comes into like a whole other thing. It's not even about YouTube as much. That's just kind of like life stuff that I think everybody on some level at some point in life experiences. It's like, I feel like I didn't fully love myself at that point, and then kind of feeling like I had to please everybody at that point in my life wasn't helping the fact that I wasn't really loving myself. And so I needed to step away from everything to figure out how to get that love back for myself. And it just came down to, honestly, what helped me is like being a kid again and like just being curious about life in a way that I feel like I kind of got jaded to a lot of things in life. Kind of what I was saying earlier, where when I was younger, I didn't realize what was going on, to the point that it was happening so much that I think I failed to even be as grateful as I could have been. And that was one of the most valuable things that I've learned in like the past few years and during taking a break, is just how to be amazed by life again and be excited about living.
That's beautiful. That's
Thanks.
great. No, I think a lot of
people need to hear that.
Yeah, and I think because you were in the beauty space in particular, you know, beauty is all about kind of like an your outward appearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you break down beauty in the superficial form, but like, you know, it's going back to what you said about rediscovering yourself and figuring out like, who am I first before I can start putting on the makeup and the outfits, right? I think it's pretty interesting that you brought that up, because I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's good for other creators to hear. Like you said, at the time, I guess 2015, you said you kind of took your break. It wasn't the same thing as like this past year, right? Where if you hear everybody's like, oh, I'm burnt out, I need to take a break. It definitely must have been hard to have to like, you had so much success and so much momentum that it's not an easy thing. Like even now for me, this is like my version of a break, but I'm still doing stuff. I can't even imagine. Like I just getting myself to this point was so difficult. Like, how did you convince yourself to be like, okay, this is the best decision for my life, to take a break when you have all this momentum going for you? You have a successful channel that's bringing in revenue, and you know, at any point if you do stop, you'll still have your hardcore fans, but you do know if you do stop, most YouTubers know that that's like deadly to your career, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get to the point where you convinced yourself, or were you at a breaking point where you just said, I have to do it?
It was kind of both, because I think that I was continuing to try to put stuff out when I was already feeling that way, and I just felt like it wasn't as good as it could have been if I was like in a better place. So I knew for that reason that I probably needed to like take a break, and it was really hard to step away, but I think it was a bit of a feeling of just like, I know that I could be happier and I know that I could be in a better place, so maybe I just need to listen to how I feel right now and take the action that I need to. And also, it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, I don't really have anything to lose, because it's so cheesy.
No,
Say
it's,
it.
as long as it's your truth, you know?
It's like, I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy with life in a way that I like wasn't back then. And so I wouldn't change any of that. And I knew that obviously it was going to change things if I wasn't uploading as consistently, especially if like there are girls my same age that are posting exactly what I'm posting that are more consistent than me. Obviously, if I'm not keeping up with that, then people would prefer to watch them. But I think it was just learning to be okay with that and not letting that, it was almost more of an ego thing. And I feel like once I kind of understood my ego and I was able to control that, it helped so much, because I was like, I had these fears that didn't even really exist, but it was only because of my ego.
Fears of like other people surpassing you, like the girls your age and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That is a tough thing to do. I don't think necessarily, if you haven't really been a creator, it's hard to explain that fear. A lot of people, when you tell them, oh, I'm burnt out, or like recently, like Lily has mentioned and other YouTubers have came out and said, they're burnt out, they got to take a break. I see all these comments and they're like, oh, wow, must be tough being a millionaire who's famous. And they don't really understand, or they think it's a lot easier to do what we do to a certain degree, where even if it wasn't easy, though, it's like everybody knows themselves better than anyone else, right? Right. So I think that part of it, for other creators, I think they understand now. Like everybody can burn out. Yeah. For people who don't have these who aren't in these lucky, fortunate situations where some people just can't take those breaks, what would you say to those people?
I mean,
it's hard. I know it's not. I'm not putting you on the spot because I try and think about that too, because I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it's hard for me to preach that to people who can't afford to that my job is too much. Right. I'm burnt out. I need this job, but I have to do it. How would we? I'm just trying to see for myself. How do you reach out to those people and give them the same advice? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that there are ways that everyone can do it. To be completely honest, I think that what I did in my situation is I completely stepped away, but I don't think that I really had to do that. I think that there definitely was ways for me to continue what I was doing while being smart in accomplishing what I did in the past few years as far as like my personal growth. I think I could have done that simultaneously while staying consistent, but I didn't do that. I think it's because I was just so in fear. I was so afraid and so confused that I just wanted to completely shut it all off. But I don't think that was really necessary. I think that's just what I felt that I needed to do. Because I look back on it and yes, I did take that break, but part of me is like, maybe I should have just at least stayed a little more consistent and worked on myself. So I think there's a lot that you can do even if you can't just completely step away. Yeah, I think it's what I found to be the most valuable is literally just being able to be honest with myself and be just transparent about where I am personally and just really diving into yourself. And that's kind of the part that can be hard for people too, is, it's being open with yourself about like what your fears are, what you're afraid of, what it is. Because I think also the biggest problem is that I didn't want to admit that it was my ego. And I think I could have figured all that out while still being consistent. I just kind of chose to step away.
Okay, well that's good advice.
I'm wondering, did you have what does your circle look like? Your circle of friends? I know you work with your dad. He's been pretty integral in your career. Did you have friends to kind of help you get through this? I know you're dating Dom, but was there anybody else in your circle, or was it your family that kind of helped you come to this realization and kind of eliminating your ego?
Yeah, I mean, definitely surrounding myself with friends is helpful, and I've done that. It's also nice just to like I said, just be more in the moment with people, because I feel like I wasn't always the best at doing that. So yeah, definitely just making more time for friends, and my family has always been really supportive. My dad has been there since the first video. So I always go to him for that kind of stuff as well, because he's always very encouraging and also kind of helps me remember why I started doing it all in the first place. And it wasn't for, obviously, we didn't know that any of the success was even possible at that point. Back then, it's we didn't even know that you could make a career out of it. And so he always kind of reminds me of that, the little me that started it. So
yeah, and when you started, you were pretty young. So how do you balance your dad, the relationship between your dad as someone who's integrating your business and then also your dad? It's kind of, it can get a little weird, right? I mean,
yeah. I think it was definitely more challenging when we lived together, because it was hard to separate the two. But once I kind of moved out and had my own place and all of that, it honestly got way easier. I think there's something about, it's I don't really want to talk about business over dinner. Right. It's you want to separate the two. So I think that's the only time that it was really challenging. But everything else, it's he's always just down for whatever I want to do and just backing me up in whatever my decision is for whatever it may be. But
yeah, he's definitely, I got to know him better than you actually on the a couple of tours that we've done. Like a lot of times it'd be like you and your dad and your mom, and and basically you'd be with your mom, and we'd just be hanging out with your dad. And then I guess that's kind of speaks to like what you were saying, like you were kind of like to yourself kind of thing. But he would constantly be like, he has good ideas. He's constantly like pitching. He's a hustler. He's a real really hustler. Is. Like he's always coming to me. He's like, not even for you. He's like, hey, what if we did this? What if you did this? And he would like keep pitching ideas. So I think I know what you mean when you say like once you weren't in the household, because if he's constantly, I don't know if he did the same thing to you, but to me, I was like, these are good. But if I had that every single day, like morning and night, I think that would be pretty tough.
It could be a lot. I mean, it's all great intention. Like,
no, he's great. He's great.
Yeah. But he definitely has a lot of ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think kind of tying it back to what David said in the first half, where music can be tied to like your parents and stuff. So in the aspect of like how hard you were grinding and like possibly like, you know, you burnt yourself out and stuff, like it sounds like maybe you got that from your dad, just that work ethic. And I'm just curious as to what does he do besides, you know, before like you were doing YouTube and stuff?
Farmer or something?
Yeah, he worked on dairy farms because we grew up like Central California, so it's like only dairy farms, like no shopping malls.
What area?
Los Banos.
I don't know why I asked. I don't know. I don't know where that is.
It's like an hour from Fresno, because like basically if we wanted to go to any shopping mall, we'd have to either go to Modesto or Fresno, because there's nothing in the town. We got a Target and everybody was like really stoked about that.
Sounds like where I'm from in Hilo.
Small town girl.
Yeah, super small town. So he would just work on like electricity and like building dairies, and he owned his own dairy business. So he's like knew how to be a business owner. But yeah, it was all like dairy farms up until I asked him to be my manager.
Do you know how to milk a cow?
I don't. I've been around a lot of cows, but I never tried to milk one. I had a lot of pet cows too, because we lived
that's
like.
Sad though, isn't it? Because don't you have to, you know?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, as a farmer, I guess dairy farm. Never mind. I'm thinking
you're talking about beef.
No, because you know they're pets and they're also if you're.
Oh,
right.
I'm thinking, no, I think. I hope that didn't happen.
No, it's okay, Beth. They went to another farm. They just went to the other farm.
I thought they just got milked.
Your pets are still there.
I mean, I don't know. I have family members who had cows, but they had them for different reasons.
Oh, well,
for meat.
Yeah, we had, because we lived literally on a dairy farm, one of the farms that he worked on, and so we just had like a bunch of cows. I remember one night, like 2:00 in the morning, there was a bunch of noise outside of the house, and I woke up and there was just like cows. Like I opened the window and just a cow, like right there at the window, because they just broke free, and so they were just like surrounding our house.
It's funny. I grew up with cows too, all around me. So it's like that constant. I know I can just smell it. I can smell where you lived.
The manure.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's yummy.
Do you have any siblings?
I have one sister.
Younger, older?
She is older. She's 5 years older. And she has 2 beautiful daughters.
What does she think about your YouTube career and all that?
She actually started a channel like shortly after I did, and she was going with it for a while. I don't know if she's still posting on it, but yeah, she got into it for a second too. It's funny because I think she might have made fun of me right in the beginning when I started, and then she was like, I'm going to get on this too.
Make fun of you in what way? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Huh?
I feel like everybody, I got that so much.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
She was probably at public school. Like, my sister makes YouTube videos.
Was she in public school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then you were saying at the break that you chose to go do private schooling.
Yeah.
And your sister chose the public route. Why did you choose private school instead of public?
I just never really liked public school. And my parents just gave us a choice. They're like, if you want to be homeschooled, you can. So I was like, okay, I'm doing that. I just felt like I was wasting time, like in between. Like because if I had it my way, I was like, I just want to go to school, do all the work, no recess, no lunch, just like let me do all the work and then go home. And that's what homeschooling was.
Was it still like 5 hours a day? Or, well, how long is school?
Yeah. How does that work? How does the homeschooling system
I never
work?
asked this to someone before, but
yeah, I'm curious.
How does it, what, do you wake up at a certain time? Do you just do your work when you want?
Yeah, you can basically do whatever you want. That was the problem though, is I feel like it definitely taught me a lot about like managing my own stuff and like having a schedule a little bit though. Cause actually not, maybe not. Cause I started to get in this habit where I would do all of my work for the week, like the night before I had to go in. Because basically I still had a teacher. So I'd meet with a teacher once a week. And I would give her all of my work for that week. And then if there were any tests, then I would do those tests. Right. And so basically it's like if I had to meet with her every Tuesday, I would literally leave all my work for like Monday.
You'd procrastinate, which is the same thing as every other student in public school.
Not me. I was the opposite.
Really?
I would do my work as soon, like in class, if I could, like homework and stuff like that, just so I could like have fun at home. But it was just so that I don't have to worry about it. I was the opposite. Wow. Anyway, that's interesting. I didn't even know you had I thought it was your parents that taught you. No, I don't know much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mom would like supervise, I guess, or like help me here and there. But yeah, it's like I had an actual teacher technically.
Got it. So would the teacher like go to your home, or are you meeting at this place? And like there's other like homeschooled kids, or is it just like one-on-one thing?
It was, you would like go in and there were like all the teachers in their cubicles, and then you would
that's
like
really interesting.
go.
So did you have any friends then? I mean, I know we kind of talked about it, but
yeah, I did. I had friends from public school, and then also once I became homeschooled for a couple years, that's when I like was in dance class, and then I took theater for a little bit too. So I made new friends through that.
Well,
do you still keep in touch with them, or?
Not so much. I mean, a few like when I go back home, but yeah, not as much as I should.
Well, that was one long Twitter question. Do you have another?
Do you have any scary fan encounters?
Oh,
It's a pretty consistent question.
Yeah.
scary?
Scary.
Or just interesting. Let's say interesting.
Creepy. Whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a really good pitch.
That was a good pitch.
The way that she said, yeah.
It's like you got something there.
Okay.
Well, I have one. It's like weird to talk about.
Now we're curious.
No.
This guy a while back, this was probably, I don't even remember, maybe 2013, 2014. This guy that watched my videos, he was a lot older than me, maybe by like 20 or 30 years. He came to a couple meet and greets, and it was just like strange scenarios. But then the weirdest one was I got a package or like a letter to my house. This is when I was still living with my family, and we opened it up and there was like this USB thing. And so we put it in the computer, and it was the video of this guy. And he just started saying like all this stuff, and he was just like, so I have your address, and like, I'm going to tell you how I found it. And he like pulled up the listing of like my house and was like clicking through the photos for some reason. I'm like, yes, I know what my house looks like. Thank you.
Oh my god.
He had photos of your house?
Well, like, cause he found the listing of the house online.
Crazy.
And so just like started clicking through it, and just like was like, you should like, just basically he was telling me like I should be more careful with my personal information, cause like
Just
it could
looking out
really,
for you.
he was like, it could affect your well-being. And I was like, you're so right. And just like said some like honestly weird stuff, and it really freaked me out. And from that point I was like, I can't live here anymore.
Is that why you moved?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons.
Oh, so this is a little more recent then. Not like when you first started.
No, well, yeah, this was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
That
that was a little.
That's pretty creepy. What about your parents are not there anymore? At that location at the guy house?
No, we all moved from there. Yeah. So that was probably the most like creepy, weird situation. Yeah. And then other than that, it's just been like little mishaps here and there.
Well, what about like weird interactions? Because you do a lot of meet and greets and stuff. What's the weirdest thing somebody said to you?
I got proposed to a lot, but I feel like
seriously,
it's not like
though?
very weird. No, not. I mean, with candy, not like legitimate.
Here's
I never
what
got
I get
a
a
ring.
lot. Has anyone ever gone, oh, you're You don't look like how you look in your videos.
All the time.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Too.
I
But,
get that I'm a lot shorter.
That too. Yeah. It's interesting because people see, and I'm sure it's even worse for you because you're in the beauty space, right? Well, I don't know. Is it worse? Do they come up to you and be like, "Oh, you look good in your videos"? They say that. I've gotten that before. It's just like, but they don't mean it as insulting. They're like, "Oh, you're a lot taller," or "Oh,
Yeah.
you look a lot skinnier in your videos," or something like. I've gotten all of those.
I've gotten that too.
I don't know if it's the same for like you because you're a girl. And
No,
in the beauty
I
space.
think the only one I've gotten is height. Is like a lot of people
really?
are like, "Oh wow, you're a lot shorter in person."
Do you take that as a diss or?
I mean, not so much anymore, but back
You used
then it
to,
was like
right.
I really hated being so short. I hated being 5'3",
Uh-huh.
and so when people would say that, I'm like, thank you for reminding me. But that was probably the only thing. There was one time at a meet and greet. This wasn't like she didn't say anything. Maybe it was the lack of her saying something that made it happen. Is like she basically wanted me to give a piggyback ride, but I didn't know that. So she like maybe she told me, but I didn't hear it because it was like really loud. So it was like this girl. She comes up. She just jumps on my back, and
What?
That's
That's assault.
yeah, it actually is.
she jumped on my back, and I just obviously wasn't expecting it, so I just fell to the ground, and I was like wearing a dress.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We both fall to the floor, and she immediately just like gets back up and runs away, and
She's
that was
embarrassed.
it. Yeah, so embarrassed. I felt so bad.
You should press charges against her. That's
I
why she
mean,
ran.
She was so happy. Like she definitely,
Yeah.
she just wanted like a cute little piggyback.
She tackled you.
I know.
Oh, that's funny. I bet you. I mean, if she's listening, you're remembered now.
I hope
still
you're
Beth still
okay.
remembers you.
Have you ever gotten any crazy gifts? Because I know. From what I've heard, females tend to get like more extravagant gifts from fans than males. Like I have a friend. She got like an iPhone from a fan.
What?
Have you ever gotten anything like that? Just curious.
No.
Any jewelry?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never gotten anything crazy like that.
Do you have a PO box?
I used to. Yeah. I did. I mostly got like Stitch stuffed animals.
Because you love Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. And a lot of handmade stuff mostly, but never anything really
Extravagant.
crazy. A lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another Twitter question here from Selena. What's the thing that you're most proud of?
Honestly, today I was really proud that I got here like super early.
Really?
I was really
Are you
proud of
usually
that.
really late?
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those.
I got here 10 minutes early.
You were really early.
Wow.
Yeah. For LA, that's like being an hour early.
It really is.
LA people are always late.
so much that I literally was like, should I not go in? It's like 10 minutes early. Maybe I should wait. Yeah, that was
very
proud
courteous.
of that.
How about
Any-
other than that?
Other than that, most proud of, like,
That's a tough thing to
yeah, like
answer.
in what genre of life? Like,
Whatever you want it to be. Like, let's say career. Do you feel like you're successful?
now I do.
You didn't when you were actually making videos?
Um,
You had to have felt
yeah,
success, right?
definitely.
Yeah.
I think I also feel it like in a different way now, where I just feel like I feel like I know a little more. Like I still have obviously so much to learn, but I feel like I feel success in a way of like, I guess what I understand and what I'm aware of now, and like just kind of how I define success too. Because I think like how I defined success in the past was maybe a little different than I define it now. But as far as like my like biggest accomplishment or like thing I'm most proud of,
I think your answer is great. Like it. Yeah.
yeah, like I think I'm definitely proud of everything that I've done career wise. Like
Yeah.
obviously I'm like, whoa, that's really cool that I did all of that, especially starting so young and not knowing that any of that was possible, and like building something at this age, and also just doing something that I never thought I would do, because I just never saw myself as that person, and even the people around me never saw me as that person. So I'm definitely really proud of that, and I definitely felt that success. But I'm also really proud of how much I've evolved as a person and how I also define success now, because I feel like it's just a lot healthier and more fulfilling.
Well, that's a good answer to a very broad question.
Yeah.
And if you didn't feel successful, I was gonna say you should, because you're on this podcast.
Oh my god.
Right.
And Ryan only
just ruin a
invites
real
No.
moment.
successful people.
No, this is a big accomplishment.
Way to ruin a real moment. All right. Well, we're pretty much at the end of our show. So I guess thank you again for being so real with us and for being here.
Yeah, of course.
It's the opposite way around. It's our honor that you're here.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug? Right.
Well, she's getting back in. Well, yeah. What are you? So you are getting back into YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube stuff,
So
music stuff.
check out Beth's channel.
What's your channel?
Bethany
Just
Mota.
her.
It used to be more embarrassing.
Yeah.
than
What
that.
was it before? It wasn't your name.
It was
right?
Mac Barbie 07.
Mac Barbie. That's what it was. I remember that.
Nice.
Mac Barbie 07. All right. Check out Bethany Mota. She changed her name, her channel name. And you can follow us at Off the Pill on Twitter and at Off the Pill Podcast on Instagram. I remembered this time.
Nice. And once again, shout out to Road. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Road, for the free things. With that being said, we'll see you guys next episode. And this is how we always end it. We just breathe into the mic and ruin our Rode mics.
Oh,
Ready? In
okay.
3, 2, 1. Hey, harmonize. Go. You singers. I don't know how to do that. Dude, this is really nice.
Just running out of air.